Hi, I'm Teoman Buyan. I live in Istanbul. I'm Turkish American and I work for Microsoft as the CIO for Middle East and Africa region.
Teoman, tell me how the internet is used in Turkey. How many people are on it and what sort of devices are they using to access it?
Internet is widely used. 50% of the homes in Turkey has internet access, and that's more than 25 million people. And internet access is done mostly by ADSL use, 70% of it. 25% is by mobile phones, and about 5% is through 3G modem on the PC.
Okay.
And
how many people use social media?
The social media is widely used by the youngsters, and that will be about 21 million. Mostly Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is really big. Turkey is ranked number 4 in the world on active Facebook usage.
And there's been a 50% growth in e-commerce, you were saying, over the last year. What's been driving that?
The e-commerce use is exploded over 50% year over year. Before that it was 30%. So there's a big potential. The Turkish people are buyers, they're merchants, they're tradespeople. They don't go to the bazaar now, they do it online. And especially the young people, they'd like to shop online and have these things delivered to their workplace. So my wife is an HR director, and she was telling me at lunchtime, all the girls that work for her get deliveries of, beauty things, clothes and things like that to their office at their pleasure.
And technology in Turkey is used slightly differently for cultural reasons. Describe to me how the young use.
Okay. Well, Turkish people are friendly, they're emotional, they're excited, they're proud, and they're attached to their communities, their families, and the roots. And they give importance to the third person opinion. So culturally, they use Facebook a lot, for instance. And the reason for that is twofold. Almost 1/3 of the internet users are on Facebook. And this includes the young and also the parents, the elderly people who want to connect with their friends from the 60s and the 70s. So this Facebook thing is really big. And also Twitter is big. The global brands use Twitter to promote campaigns and give discounts and so forth, and they have huge followers. I mean, most of the people they go out and see what brand offerings there are through the Twitter. And some of them are like airlines. There was a company who was promoting condoms, and they used just Twitter only. So this is very interesting.
And you were talking about how the young use Twitter in a way to have a social life and to do that cheaply.
Yes. I mean, the most economic entertainment in Turkey is now internet and internet gadgets.
Yeah.
So they get to stay home and they spend less, but they have lots of fun. And culturally, if you look at it, Turkey being modern and traditional at the same time, you see a lot of conservative families who won't let their daughters or sons go out and have spent a lot of time out of house. But this way, they get to stay home. There's more time at home, and they're with their parents. They spend less, but they're in a different world with their friends, chatting, online dating. Talking about politics, social matters, soccer. Music, they download music, they watch TV shows, and they also are in chat rooms, in news groups, discussing political. Turkish people like to express their opinions. They could be quite strongly opinionated, so they discuss it in a free and also peaceful environment, and so everyone is happy.
And you were saying that Turkey and Istanbul in particular have become a launch pad for doing business in the region. Why is this?
It's very interesting. Turkey has been built from the ruins of the Ottoman Empire. The ancestors of Turks are Armenians, Jews, Greeks, Syrians, Turks and Arabs. So they come back together again, especially in Istanbul. It became a hub for launching business from here because it's the culturally and politically right environment It's a free society, it's an open culture, and then the infrastructure and the technology, especially internet, has enabled the companies to come and start up here and then reach out to North Africa and Middle East and the Caucasian territory. And the business is being encouraged to do that. And it looks like the distribution channels and having Turkey being accessible through East and West, even though we have infrastructure problems, but airports have grown, the ports have grown, and also the technology is enabling, the law is enabling doing e-trade, e-commerce. You can have shipments coming to Istanbul and to Turkey from outside Germany and Europe. It will not otherwise go anywhere else. You wouldn't go to Iraq and Iran and Syria and
Yeah, it's much easier to operate.
It's much easier to operate out of Istanbul.
And Istanbul is a huge city, both in population terms and extent.
It is beyond your imagination. I mean, it's growing every day. You know, there's thousands of cars getting added to the traffic. There's thousands of people migrating from the rural parts of Turkey. And Turkey is also taking immigration from the neighbors, legal and illegal. So Istanbul is like 15 million plus. And from east to west, it's the city from the Asian side to the European side. I think it's about a 100-kilometer long stretch of 15 million people.
Enormously diverse.
Very diverse. 4 or 5 different languages are being produced.
And different religions.
Religions is also, you know, we have a very large minority of Jews and Armenians and Greeks, Cypriots, and Turks living together. More recently, we have Germans and British coming and living in Mediterranean and Aegean coast, and Russians also buying property and they're shopping, you know, and also building hotels and summer homes. So it has becoming the old Ottoman
Empire again. And you were saying that there's been interesting investments in both health and education.
Yes, very surprisingly, you know, compared to 5-10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, things like dental care or eye surgery was poor. Now, the Turkish investors, along with some foreign partners, have made investments in Turkey that enables laser eye surgery correction, very high quality and in a reasonable price. So they're making promotions, either through the social media or using internet, digital marketing, to fly people in from UK or from Armenia or from Azerbaijan into Istanbul, getting their eyes corrected through the surgery, and then fly them back, and then a package, and they get to see around Istanbul. So, and
it's kind of medical tourism.
It is enormous, and they get a very high quality feedback and response. So the people go back and say, look, I got my dental care being done in Turkey, and I had a small little trip. So they built this network of healthcare at a good price, and also you get to do a little bit of a sightseeing at the same time.
And what's the education development that looks as though it may have some potential for the future?
Yeah, I think education development, Turkey has been a little bit closed to the outside world in the 70s and 80s, you know, at the economical crisis and the military coup and so forth. Now it's been opening up since the 90s. And I see more and more foreign students, especially Arab students, coming from
since the Arab Spring.
Since the Arab Spring, more and more getting interested in learning about the Turkish culture, economy, and how Turkey is well integrated into the West, and what are some of the political things that they could also take it back to their country when they educate and so forth. So I see that influence of foreign students coming to Turkish universities, and some online university and diploma type of work is going on. It's not as much credible yet, but I think there's some potential in the future.
That's maybe the future.
Yes.
What is, no country is without problems, but what is Turkey's formula for being able to have so many people live both in a traditional way and to be modern and open? How does that work? Because it seems to me it must be of interest to other places.
Yes. I think Turkey has been culturally a land of tolerance, and having a part of the culture is being able to understand where each of the minorities and cultures are coming from. and there has been a long-term acceptance of people coming from different diverse backgrounds. Again, I root that to the old Byzantine and the Roman and the Ottoman culture coming blended in Turkey, like the Orthodox Church is here, so the Greek Orthodox, the Russian Orthodox, they coexist here along with the Jews and the Turks. So it's kind of like a cultural and social acceptance and a tolerance that kind of went into our DNAs from a long years of coexisting with in a wide geography with groups of people coming from the Black Sea, Aegean, the Mediterranean, just collapsing in Istanbul.
Teoman, thanks for talking to me today.
You're welcome, Russell.